If you look at the first three steps, you said have a mission, have a vision, plan. The next one is put a team together. What's the difference between a team and a group? Not a team cameraman. What is the difference between a team and a group? Yes. A team works together. So if, now we are seated here. All of us pay 10, or almost all of us pay 10K to be here. And the plan is that after this, I want to be an outstanding entrepreneur. Are we a team or a group? We are a group. So a team is simply made up of 2 or more people who work together to achieve a common goal. They work together to achieve a common goal. When you look at the image, you can see many people sitting around one table. And then if you notice, it's why they're doing different things. You see anybody is giving his own part of the chart. Okay, they are doing different things, but the point is to attain one common goal. The question now you ask yourself is, when should I form a team? Because you might have your company and you're like, I'm fine, I'm alone, I'm fine. But when do you think that I should form a team? No, but when do you think that you should form it? When do you think that, okay, we need to go from 2 people to 5 people? Let's get a practical answer.
Well, what I would say is when you have enough resources, take care of yourself plus your team.
When you have enough resources to take care of yourself and your team. It is very important. Why? Imagine, okay, like Joy Bentley said here, at the end of the month, you have 2,900, you have 20 people to pay, probably like 2 million francs. If you don't pay, as far as I'm an employee, if you don't pay me, it will take a lot for me to come to work. It's true now. What will I take care of my family with? For you who has the vision, you're driven. So no matter what, you can sail through. But for me who is following you, I need beyond passionate words to stick to the team. Right? So you should know when you have enough resources. You evaluate that at the end of the month or at the end of this period of time, even if you have not made this amount of money, I will still be able to maintain this number of people. That's when you should form a team. How many people should I recruit? It comes back to the same thing. You recruit as many as you need and can afford. Because sometimes some people you just want to have 50 employees so that when they talk about your company, they're like, it's a company that has 50 employees. Amazing, right? How many companies have 50 employees? How many small businesses have 50 employees? And you're excited to have the name of somebody who has 50 employees. Can you afford them? Do you need them? Because you find yourself in situations where you go to work, people sleep at work the whole day, and they go home. It has happened to me. Okay, when I was in Polytech, we had, they call us for internship in Cantel. They just come and say, on a 60 stage à Cantel. So 60 of us leave school, we go to Cantel. Go to work in the morning, you sleep, you serve, you go home. The next day, you sleep, you serve, you go home. The advantage now you can tell is that they were not paying us, so it's not to their disadvantage. But for me, it's to my disadvantage. But that's me, an employee. But imagine you, who is paying somebody and the person is not doing anything. So you employ people that you need, the number that you need. Whom should I recruit? It is as important as recruiting. Because imagine you recruit a sleeper, a sleepist, whatever. Somebody who sleeps, somebody who eats, somebody who talks too much, and all of that. You come to the office, this one is sleeping, this one is discussing, instead of working, he's discussing and all of that. And those are the kind of people that you need. We'll look at some few characteristics of the kind of people that you should bring into your team. The first one is, it should be somebody with a vision. If you have attended an interview before, one of the first questions they always ask, and it's an advice to you as a prospective team builder to have, is get people with vision. Ask them, where do you see yourself in 5 years? The person who cannot answer that question, first of all, put 2 question marks. It should take him a lot to impress you to employ him. It's a very important thing, because somebody who does not know where he's going to, it may that one, he can be very mediocre. By the way, nothing is driving him. He will just do anything. There are people who are just contented with their 50,000 that they give them at the end of the month. There is somebody tells you that my aim is that in 5 years, I should be the general manager of this company. That this is a hard worker. This is a person who will bring me money to the company. Okay? The next thing is that it should be someone who is focused. Somebody who can stay in one lane and produce results. If you're somebody who is dedicated, you don't want somebody whose energy is everywhere. I have church, no offense, I have to go to a prayer meeting in church. I came to work late today because we had all night in church. I had, my uncle called me and this happened. I had a job interview here, I had this and that. You need somebody who can sit down and work. Somebody who can invest his time in whatever thing that you want him to do. The next thing is adaptability. I think Joy talked a lot about adaptability. Somebody who is flexible, especially for you who is starting, because you might not have as much money to pay 50 people. So you might need 4 people who do 12 things each. Okay, so you need somebody who is adaptable. Somebody who is flexible, who can easily, if something changes in the market, he too can easily twist around and do some and make some changes. Okay, the next thing is someone who can communicate. The very first people that you employ in your organization are the people that will take your vision far. So you should take somebody who can stand the product to join your team. Okay, and lastly, talent. It's nice to have talented people in your team. People who can think out of the box. Okay, as a team leader, it is very important for you to communicate. Imagine a team where everybody is sitting quiet. Everything is happening in their heart. God sees the heart, the man does not. So you should be able to talk. Okay? And one of the first things we're talking is that you should know your vision and your mission. It should be clear to you. Because imagine somebody here who doesn't yet know where he's going. If I ask him to talk about his vision, and I take somebody like Unique Events to talk about their vision, there are two different things. Because he probably has already tailored everything about his vision, and he can surely stand and employ all of you without paying you. But somebody who doesn't know where he's going, it will be hard for him to even, when he doesn't know where he's going, he will not be able to communicate it to you. Which takes us to the next thing, is you should be able to communicate passionately. You should be able to make anybody stay in your team. One of my vision as an entrepreneur is that even if I pay you 50,000, you're going to stay in my company. Because of the way I will keep you. It's something that I'm very passionate about. Okay? Honestly, like, it sounds very weird, but I don't plan to pay for 50,000 francs, but my plan is, even if as little as I pay, you should be able to stay in the company. Because the vision, the passion, the entire thing wants to make you stay. Okay? And you should be able to provide a roadmap. I did a job in Douala some time ago, and one of the highest things that killed me about the job was the fact that in 6 months, I can even project my salary. In 6 months, I cannot project that in 6 months, talk less of in 5 years, this is where I'll be. It makes planning so hard. Because it's not a job that you work from morning to 6 p.m. With the traffic in Douala, you get home by 7. Sometimes you have meetings that end at 8. So, when you think about it, you're like, so this will take me all of this time, what next? Because one thing that is very important for you as an entrepreneur is that you're able to make your people see that in 3 years you can be this if you work hard. It's very important. Okay? And some few tips is, first, as a team leader, you should know how you work. Know your personality style. I know Driver said an introvert is this, an extrovert is that, but if I'm an introvert, I know the way an introvert works. I understand my working principles. I hate it probably when people are sleeping around me, so I'll not like to employ somebody who is sleeping around me. I like when people are talking, so I know that I like an environment of work where it's serious, but it's also chatty. Okay? And after you know how you work, you know your team members. Do you imagine when you get up in the morning, you go to work, and your boss is like, "Come on, Vatame." She doesn't know your mom, but it feels good. It's like the person knows you. You get to know your team members, because when you know them and you engage with them, they can easily commit. After you know them, it will even be easier for you to define responsibilities. There are some people that are good skill-wise, but they don't know how to stick to deadlines. So if you have a certain client that puts pressure like a boiling pot, you know that this is not a client for this person. You know that, okay, he's skilled, yes, but when you give him a job that the client might not put too much pressure, we are going to work with this, because you have gotten to know the person and you know the kind of tasks to allocate. And be proactive with feedback. people come to you, hey, I don't know how you will call your company boss or by your name. Like somebody just come, Velma, I did this, I did that. Yeah, that's good. What can we do about it with this information I've got to be proactive with feedback? Okay, we are going to hurry. You should acknowledge and reward. When people do good jobs, you acknowledge that what they have done is good and you should reward them. And lastly, you should celebrate success. It's very vital to just take one day. If people do not do it yet, take your people out for a beginning of year dinner, go to go and chop. Just to celebrate the year 2019. And then okay, just a small thing. One very important thing now is how to manage team dynamics. I have formed my team. I have an introvert, I have an extrovert, I have a noisemaker, I have a lazy person. How do I handle all of these people in my team? That's what we call team dynamics, which has to do with being able to handle the forces, the psychological forces that if I should say, they float in the air, okay? And those things will help you to manage your team better and will make your people to perform better. It is very important to be able to handle the atmosphere of your team. And a continuous process is simply steps that work together. For example, I have an event. I know that I can say this person is handling the graphics, this person is handling the invitation, this person is handling photography, this person handling videography. All of them work together. They can work simultaneously, but towards one goal. You see how to apply it. And we shall look at the five main good behaviors of a dynamic team, of a good team. The first one, which is very important, is build trust. That's how we start by saying, get to know your team. Your people should be able to trust you. Trust is very vital. You don't want that kind of environment where just the fact that this idea comes from this person, you're already doubting. There's some people that when they talk, you have to research. It's true. Build trust. Work on building trust in your team. And when you have succeeded to build trust, conflict is no longer a problem. It shouldn't always be conflict there. This could happen, that could happen. But just the fact that I trust this person, it means that I can trust his idea. And if he invalidates my idea, I can trust him. Because he must have had a good reason for invalidating, even if he doesn't know how to explain it. And when you have mastered conflict, then now commitment. Because I know that even if my idea, they didn't like it, we are still a team. So I can easily be committed, accepting or rejecting my idea. So then you can achieve commitment among your members of your team. Okay? And when the people are committed, they can be accountable. It takes somebody who is committed to call you and tell you that, hey, I can't make it to work today, I have an emergency. It's true. An uncommitted person will be like, Master, let me go and sleep. It takes commitment to be accountable. And finally, results will not be a problem. Like we saw earlier, Henry Ford said, when a team works together, success takes care of itself.